I'm Mushmallow, and you are, well, you're you. Hello, you. Welcome back to Dark and Creepy Diamond Painting, and as you might be able to guess from the setup here, today we are going to do a WIP Chat. It's been a little while since I've updated you guys on what's been going on around here, and there's some noteworthy things happening, I guess. So while we're doing our WIP Chat today, although I have been absolutely loving my Forever Young tips, as you can see, I have them on my pens here, we will be testing out Artdot's Diamond Art Vacuum Pen, their newest model, the little duckling. Why it's not a little bat, I can't tell you, but it's a duckling. It's lightweight, effective suction, and wireless freedom are the claims on the packaging here. And from what I understand, they've improved the pen tips, they've improved the battery life, and the suction power. The package comes with a diamond painting vacuum pen, a charging cable, and an instruction manual. I did peek inside. It also does come with a warranty. So your purchase is warranted, and I can tell you from the little sneaky peek that I took, I could probably and probably should and may probably definitely will pursue that avenue, because my pen came with like a slightly cattywampus tip. So as you can see, I just took this little rubber nubbin off. It comes with a rubber nubbin to protect the tip, but unfortunately in shipping or manufacturing, I don't know, it's so, I don't know if you can see maybe against this white background, it's so slight, but the tip is just a little askew. It's a little, just slightly not completely straight. It's a little off kilter, and it came out of the package that way. I did try to kind of, there you can kind of see it there. I don't know if you can tell, putting it up there for you, hopes that you can tell, but it just is not in there like totally straight. It kind of goes this way a little bit instead of straight, and it has affected, I feel it when I'm trying to pick up drills and stuff. I can feel that I have to hold it a certain way and stuff to be able to get it to pick up. I'm wondering if you could see it better from like arrow straight down. Probably not. I wish I could, because it's just so slight. It's so slight, but it does make a difference. So I may utilize that warranty and see if they can send me another pen, where the tip is inserted in there correctly. It's not loose, it's not wobbly, it's just kind of one side, this side is pushed in further than this side. And so it's, you know, instead of straight, it's askew. But they did send this to me, in full disclosure. They sent this to me to share with you guys. Hey, why did nobody tell me I still had hand moisturizer in my nail? That's rude. I have dry skin on my chappied hands, so you know, if you catch some white stuff on my hands that didn't get fully mixed in, it's lotion, I swear it. But anyway, here is our little ducky pen here. Here's the little chargy port, and in the container we got a chargy cord. I did take the liberty of fully charging this pen up for us, and we're going to use this for a little bit today so you can kind of see what my experience is with it. However, traditionally I am a pen and putty girl with multi-placer preference. This is a single placer only, as you can see. Oh, maybe you could see it like this. How do I, here, give you a white bottom background? Maybe you can see that it's slightly cattywampus. I'm done trying to show you, but you just have to take my word for it if you couldn't see it. But in any event, they did send this to me to show to you guys, and Yeah. So just to recap in official language, this has a reinforced tip made with a durable PPS material for long-lasting wear-resistant performance. It has a cute design. That's that's a subjective term. A smooth baby blue body with an adorable duck pattern. Perfect for all drills, AB, crystal, round, square, and no more wax is needed. No residue is left behind. It's ultra quiet, operates at less than 40 decibels for peaceful crafting experience. It's lightweight, weighing only 51 grams for effortless handling, and its ergonomic grip is designed for all-day comfort and ease of use. This pen is right now marked at $35.99 on their site, and you can get yourself a discount using code DARK15 on Artdot. That is an affiliate code, so I do get some pennies thrown my way for any time my code is used on anything like this or anything else on their site, artdot.com. Okay. All right, commercial mushy over. And now we are gonna check out this. I guess before we turn on the light and stuff, I want you guys to hear the pen. Now I do have another vacuum pen, one of the older ones with like the box and then the long cord that goes to a slender little pen. Sundown has claimed that that is his pen, and he uses that. I occasionally use it when I'm symptomy, but generally I don't need to. But it is handy to have around if you have some physical disabilities that maybe with your hands, I would imagine maybe some kind of carpal tunnel thing where if it's tough for you to get your hands like tight gripped around a smaller pen, or perhaps some arthritis issues, something bigger and thicker like this might be helpful to you. Shaky hands, it might be helpful in picking up drills and placing them. That's when I typically use something like this, and or rulers, is when my vision or my hands are shaky and I have trouble placing properly. These kind of tools can sometimes help me. That's just me. It could be help you too. It might not. We're all different. So there you go. And here we go. We're going to turn this on and listen. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm just letting you know. There it is. It's on. Full blast. Fully charged. I'm going to put it closer to the microphone so it will be louder than, normal, but I want you to hear it. There you go. It is relatively quiet. I have used this while watching TV shows, and it hasn't necessarily interfered with the TV show. It's kind of funny. If you think this is a duck pin, and if you think about it, kind of almost sounds like a little quacking duckling. Like they do get like wah, 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 wah. I know I have ducks. So let's go ahead and pick some drills and do some placing. It's sometimes it sounds like there's a loose piece, like almost like a loose piece in there, or it's hitting something. But yeah, I tip it sideways and it's like, I tip it right side up and it's quieter. I don't know if you can hear that here. I'm gonna put it close to the mic. This is vertical. This is horizontal. Vertical. Horizontal. Slightly different tone to it. All right, so we're working on the letter U. So hi everybody. I guess you can just watch and see what you see while we have a WIP Chat. I have not updated you guys in a while. Some of this might be redundant for tier 3 channel members. They've probably heard some of this before. They get the hot gossip first. Sorry, that's just the way it is, you guys. But as many of you might know, if you're returning to the channel, or if you're new to the channel, hi. Hi. Sundown, my mister, had a back surgery to have a spinal cord stimulator put in back at the beginning of February. Shortly after his 2-week post-surgery checkup appointment, he started exhibiting symptoms of an infection. And he sought medical, urgent and emergency medical attention locally here in Northeast Arkansas 4 times in the course of a month, including one ambulance arrival to our home, and the ambulance took him to the emergency room. And every time they kind of just poo-pooed him. No, it's just an MS attack, you're fine, go home. Well, he went in finally back. We went back to St. Louis, and the doctors had been like seeing the reports from the emergency room, and he messaged them every time and said, I was just in urgent care, I was just in the emergency room, here are my symptoms, here's what my back looks like. Well, his incisions had started leaking, let's put it that way. Instead of healing, they were opening up and leaking, and that's no good. So in combination with his symptoms and his multiple attempts to get help here, the surgeons said, can you make it up here today to St. Louis? And we were like, it is late afternoon and we are 6 hours away, plus, rush hour traffic and things like that. Not possible. And they said, well, can you be here by first thing when we open in the morning? And we were like, yeah, if we drive overnight, we can. And so we did. And he showed up, and they took one look at him and immediately pulled him in for an emergency back surgery. And that was in March. And it's been a rough ride. It turns out that the infection was really, really bad. We would not be exaggeratory. I think I just made up that word. You're welcome. You may use it as you like. Exaggeratory in saying that it was life-threatening. And it warranted an emergency back surgery. If that tells you anything. He was in there all day. His back was in the skin surrounding his incisions was in such terrible shape that they couldn't even stitch him back up. They did have to staple his wounds back together. I won't get much more graphic than that, guys. Don't worry. And that's kind of where, we left off with you guys. I did a WIP Chat a couple weeks ago, and I, kind of explained all this and explained in more detail what was going on and what happened and how we could have lost him because it was a life-threatening infection. After much heavy duty, so many pills, he was taking like 12 pills a day, antibiotics, no pain meds or anything. He's a tough one. But he was taking a gajillion antibiotics a day, different kinds. After the emergency surgery, we had to send pictures in to the surgeons every day to give them updates on his healing progress and how the wounds were doing, because we do live so far away. And I'm happy to report that Sundown is in his last week of restrictive recovery, meaning he has some movement and weight restrictions, but he's only got 1 week left, and his wounds are healing very, very nicely. There are no signs of infection after the emergency surgery and the heavy-duty course of antibiotics. He got his staples removed a couple weeks ago. Yes, about 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. About 2 weeks ago. He's staple free. That's how well he's healing. And yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. And fun fact, there's no notes in any of his surgical treatment stuff or anything like that, but they did something happened, because when they went in and were doing the emergency surgery and whatnot, and all that to correct, take out the infected back stimulator unit, spinal cord stimulator unit, they did something that took away the pain that he's had for years that radiated down his leg. Like, his leg pain is gone. He's like, I don't know what they did. It doesn't say they did anything. Nobody told me they did anything, but I feels it, and he's like, the pain is just gone. So far, his back pain, to my knowledge, has not returned in a super significant way either, which is interesting, because that's what the stimulator was for, was to help take away his back pain. And I don't know, I mean, he must have been in so much pain with that infection that maybe his body is just in shock, and going back to the normal levels of pain feel like nothing, you know what I mean? But he's doing much, much better, I'm happy to report. In fact, right now he's outside doing a couple of light farm chores. He's feeding and watering the flock at the moment. He has been able to tootle around on the golf cart. He can do some light mowing on the zero turn riding mower situation, but he has to take it slow, can't do big fast bumps and whatever, and about 30 minutes at a time, and then he has to take a couple hour break. But like I said, those restrictions, he's only got about a week left, and then he's gonna go out there and overdo it like he always does. So but he has been a very good patient, which I'm really surprised, because he's stubborn, and he is very much a guy that will push the limits. He will put his toe right up to that line and maybe a skosh over to see if he can get away with it. And if he can, then he'll scoot it even further up. Sidebar. What I'm noticing about this pin, with this kind of tip in particular, is that when I need to adjust a drill, I find it less easy. It kind of almost wants to just, I think because it's plastic, and it's, I don't know, there's a little bitty hole. I don't know if you can see the little bitty hole. It might be too close to the camera, I'm sorry, but the teeny tiny little air hole there. But most of this tip is plastic, and it doesn't like to nudge drills very well. In my experience, that's what I'm feeling. I do have some, like I said, because the nozzle tip thing is a little askew, I have to pick up the drills in a certain way, like at a certain angle, to get it to actually pick up. There's been a couple times already where I'm struggled to pick up a drill, but I'm hoping the warranty covers that, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, back to talking. Maybe. Do you hear my stomach grumble? I must be hungry. So yep, see right there, right there didn't pick up a drill. The suction could be better on this. I feel like I would like stronger suction on this personally, but it's as you can see, it's getting the job done. It's functional. And a lot of people, I'm sorry, I said I was going to go back to our WIP Chat, but I'm still sidebarring. Spoiler. But I really feel there's a lot of people that kind of poo-poo, boo-hoo, I wouldn't spend money on that, I don't like, the vacuum pens, whatever, and that is totally fine. It's not for everybody. But I really think this could be a useful tool for people with certain handicaps or disabilities. It's worth considering. Yeah, these ones are $35.99, the cute little ducks. But the other models of pen I think are on sale right now. I thought I saw them for $25.99, which is a little more acceptable, and I don't know what they are on Amazon. But and then you've got my code if you want a discount. I believe it's 15%. I don't know if it applies to these pens. You can try, but there you are. Like I said, granted, these aren't for everyone. I've heard good and bad. I've heard people liking these and disliking these. But that's, you know, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. You got to do what works for you, and these work for a lot of people, and they don't work for a lot of people. You know, that's just, but this is nice that it's wireless and it is relatively quiet. And I can still hear my shows over it. I'm sure you can still hear me over it. As far as like weight, it is a little weighty, and it does have a big like chunky handle. There's some ribbing, like some like texture here, ribbed for my hand's pleasure. There's some texture here that kind of helps you from slip sliding all the way down. You know, it kind of stops you there. Some speed bumps, if you will. It does feel good in the hand. It feels balanced, you know, if you're someone who can hold on to the only other, and then I promise we'll get back to WIP and chatting. But the only other thing that I can think of, I made a note of this when I first tested it. I used it, and after just a little bit of use, now this could be me, my physiology, my body, the way it's built and made up, and my sensory situation. This doesn't mean it's going to happen for everybody, but this is what I noticed for me. I am right-handed, obviously, and I'm using the pen in my right hand, and I do feel the vibration. And after a couple minutes, it's kind of giving me a numb feeling in my hand. You know, when your hand gets numb, my daughter calls it sparkly, you know, but it does, the vibrations almost do kind of give me a numb feeling in my hand through here and right through like the meaty part of this meat, and like through here and up my wrist a little bit, and I can almost feel it going in a line all the way up into my elbow crease. And it does kind of get on my nerves after a little bit. That is something that I would caution people. If you have my arms, I mean, I know these are my arms. Like, I can't speak for your arms, but that's what it's doing to my arms. I don't, to my knowledge, have carpal tunnel or anything like that. I do have some medical issues that affect my nerves, so my sensory situation, it could be that, or it could genuinely be just so vibratey that it will cause your hand to feel numb and tingly. I would not agree with the assessment where it says, well, it says the grip is designed for all-day comfort and ease of use, which I would agree with. I mean, I have lotion on my hands and I'm still not slipping on the pen. So the grip is designed for all-day comfort and ease of use, but I would not agree that the vibration is designed for all-day comfort and ease of use. I would, but they don't assert that in the materials, but I'm just saying, I could not handle this all day. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. So, yeah, that's the status on update. The status update on Sundown. Words are very hard today, can we tell? I have not been feeling well lately. As soon as he started to get the all clear and everything's looking good and he was improving, that's when like my superpower kind of started waning. I was in emergency kind of push through it anxiety. You know, a lot of us have that in us. I don't know if it's the mother instinct or just a parent or adult or type of person I am. I don't know where it comes from, but when there's like a crisis going on, I have the habit of just it's a survival You know what I mean? Do what you need to do to survive and get through this, then you rest. Then you take care of you, but you know, everything else and everyone else comes first in an emergency, right? And that's kind of just how I am. And so I've been really just high anxiety, high stress, constantly worrying. I'm waking up multiple times a night, checking his temperature, you know, after the, sorry, there's S's and 5s here together, and they look very similar, and it's hard to tell them apart. But I was in hyper vigilant, super anxiety mode, knowing that things could still go either way and stuff. But now that things have calmed down and we're starting to get back to a little bit more semblance of normalcy, and he's doing much better, I'm starting to relax more, and with that, everything is starting to hit me. Everything I've been ignoring, pushing off, pushing down, just kind of dealing with until the crisis is over type of thing, is all hitting me at once. So I have not been doing very good myself. I've been trying to rest as much as possible, taking naps when I darn well please, which is pretty much all the time, and yeah. Just trying to take it easy and relax now that the emergency is over. In other news, if anyone's interested in how it's going with the Wicked Witch of the Northeast, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Mom down. The mother-in-law. Mom down did have a recent doctor's appointment, and her doctor prescribed her an in-facility physical therapy, is what they called it. In-facility physical therapy. The doctor wanted her to go to, basically it's kind of like a nursing home that offers physical therapy. She would stay there for 2 to 3 weeks while she went through a physical therapy program to help build up her personal body strength and be better able to take care of herself at home, make her safer, stronger, work on some of her physical limitations, help strengthen her body to maybe make her. And so she, that was supposed to happen, and they felt like it was not safe enough for her to do it at home. She needed to be in a facility under medical watchful care because of all of her medical conditions and stuff, in addition to then on top of it, physically being exercised. They wanted that done in a controlled environment, right? Well, insurance, being what it is, lovely insurance, said no, thank you. We would not like to pay for that. That's very expensive. She can just have someone come out to the house and do physical therapy sessions with her at the house, and we'll pay for that instead. And the doctor tried to fight it, appealed the decision, and said, no, I really feel like she is in such a bad way physically and medically that she needs to be in a facility. And they said, we do not care, F that, we want to go with what's cheaper, and what's cheaper is somebody coming out to our house. So there was no choice. Insurance had spoken, but she did get a state mandated reporting, a physical therapy person that comes out to her house. I think it's 5 days a week, and half of the day they're going to be working on physical activity, exercising, and the other half they're going to basically provide the exact same service as one of her other helpers, which is like a assisted living kind of activity, cleaning and meal prep and taking her on errands and things like that. So as it stands now, because the insurance for some reason thinks all this is cheaper, am I? Yeah, Letter E. Okay. She now has a state mandated reporting nurse that comes out to her house once a week to take her vitals and make sure that she is taking her medications and taking them properly, that she's attending her doctor's appointments, and making sure if everything's okay, at least on that day, on the one day they come out there. And then she has an assisted living, like a nurse's aide assisted living person come out to her home 5 days a week for half a day each and do things like help her bathe and get dressed and do laundry and make food and clean up and things that keep her company, things of that nature. Just assist her in living a life, an independent life. And then she has now a physical therapy person that is going to be coming out 5 days a week and helping her, do physical therapy at home, and also provide some of the same services as the assisted living person. So she has 2 assisted living people, a physical therapist, and a certified nurse, a registered certified nurse person. So apparently, she essentially has 4 different services all coming out to attend to her and aid her in staying in her home and living an independent life. And I say that with emphasis, and if you weren't looking, air quotes, because at what point do we cross the line from independent living to assisted living? Because to me, if you need 4 people to come out to your home weekly, every day, 3 of them come out every day, and 1 of them come out once a week, but you need 4 people, 4 independent services in order for you to remain safe living inside of your home and do all the things for you, so that literally, I swear, she is like melded to the couch. This woman does not get up from the couch hardly at all. And so at what point do we cross the line from living independently to it being assisted living anyway? I feel if you need that many people that often, that many services, 4 services to every day to come help you live independently, that is no longer independent living. I feel like that is assisted living, and that could be cheaper, less stressful, and safer if it were done in an appropriate facility like a nursing home, which is what they are intended for. They're intended to be places for people to go when they can no longer safely live independently at home. But here we are, and I was asking Sundown, I'm like, we keep piling on the people that are coming into her house every day to help her live independently, and we keep piling on the services and such. At some point, I mean, how many people need to come in the house every day, and how many different services do we need? Because also we are looking into Meals on Wheels for senior citizens. So people would come out and bring her meals to eat. That would be 5 services. So where is the line going to get drawn here? Where, I'm not an insurance agent. I don't know where they think the line needs to be drawn, but you would think that it would be less expensive, or at least equal expensive, instead of 4 different services. And like I said, one of them only comes out once a week for a couple hours and checks her vitals and checks, her medical records and makes sure that she's, going where she's supposed to and taking what she's supposed to and doing what she's supposed to, and making sure at least on the day of the visit she is healthy enough to be at home and not, at the hospital or something. But otherwise, the other 3, those are every single day of the week, 1 half day, the other 2 whole day. So I just, it frustrates me. It frustrates me a little bit because I would think that would be as expensive or more expensive even than just letting her go to an assisted living facility or nursing home. But it is what it is. I mean, she's had a couple falls. I mean, even with all these people around and stuff, there have been a couple of incidents still. Nothing in that regard has really changed. She's not entirely safe when they leave for the day. She's all evening and all night she's on her own, and yeah, that's when lightning strikes. And so if she was in a facility with cameras and help buttons and orderlies and nurses that check, then she would be a lot safer. Just my thoughts. But apparently we live in a world where our medical care is dictated by our insurance company and what somebody at a desk with no real medical training, they're just not at least medical school training, you know what I'm saying? They're not doctors, most of them, I'm sure. We're at their mercy and what they will allow for us despite doctors' recommendations. So because, and I know this because when we were at the hospital for the emergency surgery and I think they finished up a surgery around 7:30 p.m. and they were like, okay, well, we're going to prep him for release. And I was like, he just had emergency surgery. It was way worse than you guys thought. It was life-threatening. He could have lost his life. He's not out of the woods yet. The infection, you might not have got it all, or he could reinfect, from being opened up and dug around in. And you're going to try to send him home? What is this? And they were like, well, we would prefer to keep him in the hospital for a couple weeks and monitor and make sure the infection doesn't come back and whatever. But we can only do what the insurance will cover. And the insurance will not cover an extended stay in the hospital. And I'm like, even after an emergency back surgery? Are you kidding? And they were like, no, the best, we'd advise that he stay in the hospital. But the best we can advise under these circumstances, because of the insurance declining his hospital stay, is that you stay as close as you possibly can reasonably afford in a hotel nearby for a few days while he recovers, so that he is, in case things take another turn for the worse, he's close enough to get in here and get emergency help. And I was like, wow, I didn't, never in a million years did I imagine that somebody is going to have an emergency back surgery to save their lives from a deadly infection and be sent home as soon as they open their eyes after. What world are we living in? What the heck? And that added to my stress a lot, because, they're like, to be clear, he's not out of the woods, still very dangerous situation. Good luck, bye. And I'm like, oh, my God. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's happening with Mom Down, in terms of the doctors are saying she needs to be in a facility. She is not safe at home, even with all the services that her family has provided. And the insurance is like, no, we'd rather keep our money. Thank you. So I'm like, why? What? Oh, something needs to change in that. But that's a whole other kind of topic. Sorry, guys. Anyway, that's what's going on with Mom Down. It was advised by her PCM and other specialists. They all agreed that she needed to be moved into a facility, and insurance said no. So she is still at home and now has 4. And once we get Meals on Wheels set up, she will have 5 services that are being paid for by her insurance to keep her in her home, which is arguably not safe after 5 p.m. when everybody's gone. So there's that. In other news, daughter has been home out here on the farm a lot lately without Sundown and I, because we have been spending so much time in St. Louis due to his surgeries and follow-up appointments and such. And her boyfriend, Spider-Man, we call him, he has just been a rock star. He's really stepped up, and he's come out here and spent as much of that time with her as possible. And sometimes even when we're here, he'll stay just to spend time with us too, which is really nice. He's invested in the family as a unit, not just in the daughter. You know what I'm saying? He has been helping Sundown with maintaining our property and some of the landscaping clients in Sundown's condition, and he can't do it. Spider-Man's been stepping up, and now Sundown does go out to the job site with him and supervise. Don't get me wrong, but Spider-Man has been stepping up in a big way and helping out with that as well, so Sundown doesn't lose clients during his recovery, because he's not able to do the job. He does have a suitable replacement. Normally I would step in and do, but I've been busy kind of taking care of him in the home, and I've been having some problems of my own medically, so I have been unable as well. And Spider-Man has stepped up, being a team family player, and we are super grateful for it. Of course, we do pay him a healthy pay. I don't know, a healthy payment for his services. And that's been going on. And one of the occasions that he was here helping daughter with some of the farm chores. So he goes, basically what's going on is our Tom turkey is becoming a little aggressive, especially during a special time of the month for us human ladies. And I think he can sense it or whatever, and he's becoming a little aggressive. I guess he's just needs more mating opportunities to blow off steam or whatever. He is becoming quite aggressive, especially more so during when Aunt Flo is visiting. And he was just being his normal aggressive level, which is pretty he's been pretty nasty lately when Leah goes out to feed. He even attacked Sundown a little bit. I don't know if attack's the right word, but yeah, jumped and flapped up to his face to kind of getting all red and poofy, just really getting aggressive. And anyway, Leah was out there, and Spider-Man decided to go out with her, be her protector. And he walked into the coop first. He's like, you know, I am here to protect her, stay back, turkey. But what he wasn't paying attention to or looking for were snakes. He was focused on keeping Leah protected from turkey. He wasn't even like thinking about anything else. But Leah was. She's a smart farm girl. She pays attention. She does not like the outdoors. She does not like anything that flies, buzzes, slithers. She is always really hyper vigilant for that stuff. Well, he isn't. He walked into the coop, took 2 steps in, and she's like, you could hear her say, "Don't move." And he's like, "What?" And he's spinning around like, what am I looking for? She's like, "Snake." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Snake." And he hightailed it. Spider-Man hightailed it out of that coop so fast, and they shut the door. So there was a nesting box, like maybe a foot, 2 feet inside the entry. There was a set of nesting boxes, and all she saw was like the teeny little tippy tip of a snake tail sticking out from under the nesting box. But that was enough for her to realize there is a snake, you know, and identify it and get Spider-Man out of there. And they came and got Sundown, and Sundown is in good enough physical shape and has had enough restrictions lifted to where he could go deal with the problem. And he went out there, you know, and the intention is always preserve life, right? So let's just secure the snake and move the snake to a better locale, far away from the chickens and the people, right? But upon arriving on the scene, Sundown discovers, oh, this is not your average snake. This is a copperhead. I said it. Copperhead. A pretty, from what I was reading, pretty aggressive, definitely poisonous, nasty little snake. And not so little. I shouldn't have said little. Not a little snake. A nasty big snake. This was maybe a baby or an adolescent. It was actually pretty small, relatively speaking, in terms of how big they can get. But no, we had a copperhead kind of buried in some straw under one of the nesting box structures. And all that was sticking out was his tail. If she hadn't seen that, and either one of them had gotten too close, and it felt threatened, it could have struck, and they wouldn't have seen it coming, because it was almost completely hidden. Literally, the tip of its tail was the only thing sticking out. So unfortunately, that snake is no longer, fortunately, that snake is no longer in the coop. That snake, due to its dangerous, kind of aggressive, dangerous nature and how big it can get, and reproduction abilities and stuff, that snake was relocated to the great beyond. I'm sorry. Danger to Charlotte, danger to our chickens and their eggs, danger to us as people, danger Will Robinson, predator, highly dangerous, could not be allowed to stay. Because, I mean, even if we had moved it to a different area of the property safely without getting bit and poisoned, who's to say it wouldn't have produced more miniature versions that would grow up and infiltrate the farm? Who's to say that it would not just be like, cool, thanks for taking me on a trip, I'll be heading back to my coop home now, and make its way back to where there is food and shelter in the coop? You know what I'm saying? It could not be allowed to to stick around, and I'm sorry. But that happened so easily. They could have been kudos to Leah. Kudos to Leah for having such a sharp, hyper vigilant eye, especially when she's going out on the property. I haven't seen the family of baby bunnies that have been hippie hopping around lately. A couple weeks ago, I sincerely hope that copperhead did not find the baby bunny home, and because I haven't seen the baby bunnies, and it makes me sad. So I'm hoping that they come back around and they're just like, I don't know, in hiding, confirming that the predator is gone. But starting to get a little bit nervous that maybe they became predator lunch. I'm scared. Yeah. In other news, we can now start getting back to farm life in terms of actual like farming. Though it is getting kind of late for a spring summer crop situation. We are working, because of that, we're going to be focusing more so on property improvement. We have made some improvements to the driveway. We're going to be getting a gate installed at the front of our property. We've got some beautification things going on. We've installed some lamp posts at the entrance to our property, and then lined our driveway with like little solar powered pretty little lampy lights. Been happy about that. And yeah, Leah's been she wants a tiny home or a really cheap kind of trailery / modular, manufactured, whatever you want to call it, home. And we have offered to let her put that out here on the property, which she would like to do. So we've been kind of light house shopping for her, and also for ourselves, because if we find one that we like, and I think she's kind of hoping that that's how it's going to go, so she doesn't have to like physically move any of her stuff. Lazy bones. But she, I think she's hoping we'll find one that we like and can afford and want to pursue and get, and then we would give her this house. But I can tell you, with the setbacks we've had medically and how that's impacted our income in terms of like farmy stuff and landscapey stuff and whatever, I can tell you that's probably not going to be a reality, at least not in the very near future. But we can dream and hope, right? It's probably far more likely that she'll find a home, tiny home or manufactured home or trailer or something that she can afford far sooner than we find a house upgrade that we like and will be able to afford. That's just how it goes, that's life. But man, love my daughter. She's about to turn 26 this summer. As much as I love her and I love having her around, and I don't want her to go anywhere, I also want her to get out of this house. Like, I'm ready to have our home for ourselves. But no, seriously though, love the kids. They're welcome anytime, and they can stay as long as they want. It's not a bother having them here, any of them, including Leah and Spider-Man. But I just figure, it's about time. It's about time. She needs to experience some life on her own, even if that means that she's just like across the property in the next acre over. But she needs her own space. It would be nice for us to kind of have some of our own space, and she needs that experience of paying her bills and having her own house to keep and things of that nature. You know, I don't want her to, as much as she loves her family and wants to be around us, I don't want her to be robbed of those experiences either. They are personal growth experiences, you know? And we're always going to be right here, and our door is always going to be open. So she's got a safety net. That's the best time to experiment with adult life. And words are hard. Adult life is when you have a safety net to catch you. So we won't always be here, and so she won't always have that safety net, you know? And so I'd much rather her dip her toes into the adult life pool, 100% fully adult life, with bills and house payments and car problems, you know what I mean, and all that stuff that adults face without a safety net. I'd rather her face them now with a safety net, so that when we're gone and she has no safety net, she has some practical life experience as an adult. Does that make sense? I hope I'm wording that right. I love having my daughter here, and I'm, you know, when the day comes that she does like move out and on her own, even if I can look out my window and see her home, I'm gonna cry and bawl. And she's been with me since day one. I've rarely been apart from her for any length of time, and so she's been someone that's been in my life every single day practically for 26 years, plus, you know, baking time. So it's not like I'm, you know, trying to give her the boot, get out of here, I'm done with you. It's not anything like that. It's just I need to know that when her father and I are gone, I need to know that she has the wings to fly on her own and thrive, you know? I think we all want that as parents for our kids, right? We all want them to stay close, but also they need that experience of being on their own, or experiencing some of these things that we can't always protect them from forever. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on over here. Some house hunting, some more services to help mom down independently live. If you can, I don't know what my definition of independence, a little bit different, but you know, hey, whatever insurance company, whatever. And, you know, Sundown's recovering nicely, and he is staple free, and still his back skin is still held together, so that's good. And in about a week he'll be off restrictions and back to activity as normal. We are going back to St. Louis for medical appointments for the both of us. We're going in May and again in June. So, we're more St. Louis. Yay! Love these long car rides and hotel stays. These expensive hotel stays, but we started off staying at hotels. We're like, that's too stressful on our budget. We can save money and we can power through it, and we can turn around and just come back. And we've done that for a couple years, and now we're at the point where we're like, yeah, we're getting a little too old for. We're not young and energetic, and our bodies can't really. Our bodies, our minds, our stress levels and stuff. We can't really handle that anymore. So we're back to staying in hotels when we go on the trips. It's safest. It's the easiest on our health and mental health and physical health, and it's just better all the way around for us, aside from the wallet. It's a little stressful in the wallet. There might be some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and some ramen involved, but nobody's going hungry over it, so there's that, it's just kind of a bummer. Well, there went our fun money. Our fun money is now in the hotel fund. Anyway, isn't that's life, right? That's such is life. Ups and downs and bits and bobs and things, and yeah. So now, on that note, that's kind of an update on everything that's been going on, and you know, it's going. As far as this month is concerned, I'm working through my challenge. A little bit nervous. That's gonna be kind of tight, close to the wire, but I'm hoping that I'm gonna successfully finish the challenge, and so that's going pretty well. I meant to have a Figure It Out Friday out today. The day I'm filming this is Friday, so you know, this past Friday for you guys, but I did not. I just didn't have the energy. I had other things going on, and I did not get enough completed to make an episode. But I will have one for this coming Friday. So Figure It Out Friday will be coming up, and I am going to be taking a couple days off. There's in the second half of April here, there's a couple of days that have some importance to me personally, and I'll be taking you know, those days to chillax and do I don't know what yet, but stuff and things. Probably will involve eating a piece of cake of some kind. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like a sweet treat. And yeah, then back to it. So that's kind of what's going on. That's it. That's all I got, guys. I feel so weird talking about myself. I don't think anybody cares. I don't know who wants to hear it. But there it is, in case anybody does care and did want to hear it. There it was. That's what's going on over here at the Sundown Mushmallow Homestead. And with that, we are done. My final thoughts on this Artdot pen. I will show you. This is one of those rare instances where I can show you my final thoughts on this Artdot pen. I am grateful and thankful to Artdot for sending this to me to test and show you guys. I am sure there are people out there that can benefit from a pen like this, especially one that doesn't have like that extra battery pack and the extra hose. This is a cordless, wireless. Now, if this would have run out of juice, I did test it, and you can plug it into charge and still use it at the same time. That's also a plus. I'm sure these pens are going to be of value and benefit certain people. I'm sure at times I will find value and benefit in this myself on symptomy days. But for everyday use, for me at this stage right now in my current medical and diamond painting journey condition, it is not a daily use item. This is going to be a situational for me use item that I'm going to pull out on days when I need it. And until then, I'm going to stick with, you know, my manual pens and multi-placers, because single placing, some people are single placers. If you are, you might really like this, and then you can save money on trying to find the perfect putty or wax or whatever, right? And spending your money on that. But for somebody like me who is not a single placer, I am a multi-placing mama. I really kind of miss that and need that. So unless I need this for medical reasons, that will not be my daily use. I'll be sticking with my Forever Young stainless steel, ultra thin, freaking best multi-placers of life. So, and single placer too. There it is, right there. So that's what I'll be sticking with. And watch your eyes. We'll turn this off if you want a little, there you go, sneaky peek. About halfway done with the final girl canvas. There it is in its entirety. It's sideways. It's oriented sideways, but here's our progress on the final girl challenge canvas. And yeah. Thank you guys for keeping me company while I do this, and letting me unload and tell you about all the things that have been going on lately, and giving you some updates on what's going on around here, and for letting me show you the Artdot. Words are so freaking hard today. Artdot pen. Just say the words. Thank you for letting me show you the Artdot pen. gosh. And don't forget to use code DARK and get, I think it's 15% off, and throw some pennies my way while they're at it. So yeah, that's what I got for you today. And until next time, stay naughty.